Hi guys, welcome to Math with Mart, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you the absolute value. In this video you will learn the basics, properties, equations, equalities and inequalities about absolute value. Let me start with a simple example which will improve your understanding about absolute value. So, when using an iron, if we iron a crumpled cloth, we'll get a flat one. And if we iron a flat cloth, we'll again get a flat one. So at the end, we will always get a flat cloth as a result. You will ask how this is related to absolute value. Let me tell this. Either the x is positive or negative. If it is on absolute value sign, the answer will always be positive at the result. What is absolute value? The absolute value is defined as a number's distance from 0. So with this information, let's do the examples. First of all, minus 3 in absolute value sign. 1, 2 and 3. So 4 in absolute value sign. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 in absolute value sign. 1 and 2. Minus 1 in absolute value sign, 1. Basics of absolute value. So for the first question, it asks what are the possible values for x? X in absolute value sign is equal to 5. So possible values for x must be the numbers which are 5 units away from 0. These numbers are equal to minus 5 and 5. Yes. So for the third question, it asks what is the least possible value for x plus y. Because of it asks the least possible value, we must get the smallest numbers for x and y. For x it is minus 5 and for y it is minus 3. So sum of them is minus 8. In the fourth question, we must do the examples. So let's begin with the first example. In the first example, it asks us the absolute value of 8, which is 8. For D and E, we must know a rule to solve these examples. The rule is, if the sum of the numbers inside the absolute value sign is positive, we write the numbers directly the same. So 5 minus root 3. The answer will be positive. So we write it directly the same. But however, for E part, if the sum of the numbers inside the absolute value is negative, yes, this is negative, we write the numbers in parentheses with a minus sign before them, just like this. And after we distribute this minus sign, which gives us the answer. So in the fifth question, x is smaller than minus 2 is given. So let's give x minus 3. In the B part, it says 2 minus 3. So this is a negative expression. So we write it with a minus sign in front of it. After we distribute this minus sign, and then we get the answer as minus 2 minus x. So for the C part, 8 minus minus 3, which is a positive expression, so we write it directly the same. And after we have minus 3 minus 3, which is a negative expression, so we write it with a minus sign in front of it. And then we distribute this, so we get 8 minus x plus 3 minus x, which is equals to minus 2x plus 11 as a result. So, these are the 8 properties of absolute value. I'm not going to explain these properties in details because they are not 100% needed to solve the questions about absolute value. But if you want to study them, you can pause the video and study it in details. Absolute value equations. Find the solution sets of the equations in real number. So for the A, x plus 8 in absolute value sign is equal to 17, the question says. To solve this kind of question, you must divide the equation into two parts. First of all, you say x plus 8 is equal to 17. For the other one, you say x plus 8 is equals to minus 17. And after you solve, this 8 goes to the other place as minus 8, so x is equal to 9, the first value for x. For the other one, we do the same, and then x is equals to minus 25. And then we write x is equals to, we always write the smallest number first, and then the bigger value after. This is the answer of the first question. For B, this kind of question usually have 4 answers. So we do the same thing again. We divide it into two parts. For the C question, you must remember something. An absolute value cannot be equal to a negative expression. So let's do it. 5 plus x is equal to this 8 goes to the other side as minus 8. So minus 1 minus 8. 5 plus x in absolute value is equal to minus 9. And as I said, an absolute value cannot be equal to a negative expression. So the answer is empty set. So this question is probably the hardest question in equations. So let's do it. So 654. So notice these, all of them are the same. This is our goal. We must make them same. So these are going, and then we will get minus 2 is equal to 3. And from this it's so easy. X minus. For the final question, it says find the value of 3a, 2b and c. So let's do it. A plus 5 is equal. Mixed equations involving absolute value. Find the solution sets of the equations. So this is so easy to do. We're separating this into two parts. First of all, we're writing the same thing without absolute value signs. Right. And for the second one, we're writing first of all the same, but the other place we're multiplying the whole place with minus. So this will be minus x plus 8. And then we're doing the simple equation. So in this part we're not going to get a result because it will be 0 is equal to minus 5. So we have only one answer. This will go to left place as plus, so 2x is equal to 11. Yes, 11, and then when we divide it by 2, we're gonna get x is equal to 11 over 2. In the second question, we're doing the same thing again. 3x is equal to minus 1. And we're just writing them like this. Minus 5 and minus 1. So this equation, first of all, we must get these two into the right side to solve the equation. So the equation will be 2 minus x. Okay, so we now have the equation, so we can do so now we can separate them for 3. Easy. We had an issue about the camera, so this is how we solved the problem. This kind of questions are so easy to solve. We're again doing the same thing, 1 and 2. First of all, we're writing the whole equation without absolute value sign. And in the other one, we're writing the same, exactly the same, but we're just as 10 instead of plus 10. So solution set, let's write it here. X is equals to minus 13 over 7 over 2. This is the answer. So, in this question, we're doing the same thing again. So, in this kind of question, sometimes this place becomes minus 12, which is not possible for absolute value question. So, we're just deleting this answer and x is equals to 21. This place cannot be minus 12. And now for the last question, we're doing the same thing. Absolute value inequalities in the form of x in absolute value sign is bigger than a. Find the solution sets of the inequalities in real number. So for the first question, 2x minus 1 in absolute value is bigger or equal to 5. Let's do it. We're again gonna write this without the absolute value sign, bigger than 5. And then again we're doing the same. Yes, so, and then to leave x alone, we're adding plus 1, which will make this inequality minus 4 is bigger or equal to 2x, which is bigger or equal to. So, in the b part, we're doing the same thing again. 8 minus 8. And then to leave x alone, we're writing plus 10 to all sides. Minus infinity, 2 with open, both of them are open. And then for the second one, an open 18, comma, open infinity. For the third question, we must be careful about something. If an absolute value of x is bigger than a number which is negative, like minus 17, the x is equal to all real numbers. Let me give an example. If we have minus 9,999 in absolute value is bigger than minus 17, this is correct because 9,999 is bigger than minus 17. And another example, let's take 0. 0 in absolute value is bigger than minus 17. So answer is R, all real numbers. This question might be the hardest in this page, but it's as simple as the others, so let's do it. So when we simplify it, we will get 5 and 3, and then we're gonna do this separately. So in this question, we're doing the same thing again. Plus 5, 15, minus 15. And so to leave x alone, we're doing the same things again. Minus 20, minus infinity, comma, minus 4, but it's closed. Union, we're writing 2 to infinity. So in this question, it says find the solution sets of the inequalities in set builder form. Not writing it in interval, we are writing in set builder form. Okay, let's start. This is an easy question. 5 minus 3x plus 7, 27, and it will become like this. 20. When these are gone, we will have 5 minus 3x is bigger than 5. And now it's so easy and it's so simple. We're gonna do 5 minus 3x, 5, and then minus 5, and then to leave x alone, we are subtracting 5 from the whole equation. Minus 3x, 0, and then we're doing the same things again, dividing the whole equation by 3, and because of there is minus, we're changing the sign of it, so minus 10 over, it will become plus 10, and then the sign changes, of course, and then it will be still 0. And now we're doing the same thing again. Yeah, because of it's a set builder form, where we must write it like this. This one. First of all, we're writing this one, 10 over 3, or now we're writing this one, 0, and then x, real number. Yeah, this is the set builder form of the answer. Find the solution sets of the inequalities in real number. A. X plus 3 is smaller or equal to 5. This is so simple. We just write x plus 3 without the absolute value. We write the same, smaller or equal to 5. And we just add another smaller or equal to, but we add a minus 5. And after this, to leave the x alone, we must add minus 3 to all the equations. So it will be minus 8, x, and 2. So because of its said real number, we must write it x is equal to closed minus 8, 2, and another closed. So, for this question, x in absolute value sign is smaller than 7, the question says. But how can an absolute value be smaller than a number which is negative? This is impossible. So the answer is empty set. Because if we write something like minus 8 for x, it will still be bigger than minus 7. So this is not possible. So the answer is empty set. For question D, we are doing the same thing as question A and question B. 2x plus 1 without absolute value sign, smaller or equal to 7, and we're writing minus. Closed 4 with a closed 3. So in this question, it again says find the solution sets of the inequalities in real numbers. So in this one, we are doing the same thing again. And to leave x alone, 2, closed 4, and closed 2, minus 2. And now this will be the easiest question of them all. So the only thing we should do is write this. The x has no negative, so we're writing the same. And to leave x alone, we are adding 3 to whole inequality. 3 bigger or smaller or equal to x, smaller or equal to 3. So x is equal to 3, just 3. So the last question, G, is the hardest of them all. We are doing the same thing again, but this is a bit hard. Minus 5. So to get rid of this minus 4, to get rid of this minus 4, we must multiply both of the sides by minus 4 and by minus 4. And because of we have minus, we must change the signs after doing this. So 20, be careful about the sign, 5 minus 3x, and then minus 20. And then to leave the x alone, we are subtracting 5 from the whole inequality. So yeah, this is the answer of this question. So let's start with the first question. Let's write the inequality again. 5 smaller or equal to x in absolute value is smaller than 8. So we must do this in two ways. First of all, this 8 goes to the left side with its sign x in normal, and this 5 goes to the right side like this. This is the first one. X is alone, so we don't have to do anything. We don't have to add or subtract anything. So in the other way, we must do the same thing. 8 goes to the other place, but it goes minus 8. Same thing. And then as we did it for 8, we're adding minus to 5 too. So now it's so easy to find the interval of this. Open 8 with close minus 5. So for the second question, we first write this inequality, and then first of all, the 7 goes to the left place with its sign. We're writing this without the absolute value, and then 3 goes to the right side as this. And then for the second one, okay, let's move on. We're doing the same thing again, writing them in absolute. Oh, we forgot this. Okay, so we're doing the same thing again. This 3 goes to the right, left, open minus 4 with closed 4, union, closed minus 2 with open 6. So yes, this is the last question, and it says graph this solution set. So graphing is easy. We will do it after we find the interval. So first of all, we're writing this to make it easier. Okay, so 9 goes to the left side, x plus 5, and 2. 2 goes to the right side. So to make the x alone, we're subtracting 5 from the whole inequality. We're gonna have plus 4 x and then minus 3. For the other side, minus 9 x plus 5 minus 2. Minus 5 from the both sides, minus 14 x and then minus 7. So the interval is, first let's write this interval, minus 3 plus 4. Oh, we forgot to put this, sorry. We must do this like this. Union, minus 7 and minus 14 and minus 7. It says graph the solution set, but we don't have any space, so we're doing this to this place, like this. Okay, so we have this, so we're drawing a number line first of all, and we're writing the numbers. So minus 14, minus 7, minus 3, and let's write 4 here. So because of all of them are closed, we're doing this. And then it says between minus 3 and 4, and they're included, so first of all this, and then minus 14 and minus 7, and both of them are included, so this is how you graph this. So thank you for listening to my absolute value video. I hope you learned it well, and see you in the other videos.